Well, this is our latest economic collapse series videos. We had to go out today to get a few things for the week, and I will say one thing that George Vertitle is correct on is the inflation with groceries. For a little while there we saw a lot of deflation just about everywhere with the commodity prices falling. And although some of the commodities are up a little bit, I don't know, groceries have really taken a skyrocket lately. I noticed this actually when we did our latest grocery trip, our monthly one. And you know how sometimes you notice things in the back of your mind that you don't really think about it, but something's bugging you? And, you know, we got... I considered it to be a medium-duty trip because the one before, as some of you may recall, was during the swine flu, and you know, just as a precaution, no one really knew what was going to happen, so we stocked up on a lot of extra stuff on that trip. So the last one was more of a medium-sized, and it was still almost the same money. And I was, wow, that's a lot. You know, I expected it to be under 200, and it was almost 250. Anyway, so today, my wife just went in the store, and you know, we didn't get a whole lot of stuff here really. You know, she got, what was it, 2 boxes of macaroni and cheese, and that's, you know, not even brand name, that's store brand name. We got 1 loaf of bread, 3 pounds of carrots. I think she got maybe 5 tomatoes. A 4-pound, I mean, they're not even 5-pound bags anymore. I just noticed this now. A 4-pound bag of Ida Red apples.
Yeah, and those carrots were 2 pounds.
It says 3 pounds on here.
Oh, well, maybe I was wrong.
So, with that, anyway, usually I'm saying 4 pounds because it was always 3 or 5-pound bag of apples. So there's 4 pounds. A few bananas, you know, that was just for a snack for the kids, you know, while we were out type of thing. And a celery stalk. Okay, and we got a package of romaine lettuce, like a bag, and there's what, 6 in there?
There's 6
heads,
in there.
and they're not even really full. The full big ones, they're like a smaller one. So $27.27, and that just, I don't know, that seems like a lot for a little bit of produce, you know. Keep in mind, not all of this obviously is in season for Ontario yet. It kind of bugs me because, you know, in what, 3 more weeks or 4 more weeks we got everything sitting out here. But I mean, a bag of apples, $4.49, you know, like $1.10 a pound for apples, you know. And I looked at them, and of course they're last year's crop, so they're not even really that good. But the tomatoes was what got me, like, you know, $5.44, and you got like what, 5 tomatoes, or
it's over $1 a tomato.
You know, they're hothouse, okay, they're Ontario, so I realize there's costs involved with the running a greenhouse and that. I mean, the carrots were $2.50 for 3 pounds of carrots. I don't know. But I guess what I'm saying is it just seems every time we are shopping for food, it does seem to be a little more than you think, kind of mentally in your head. And so I really miss Super Faith Justin, or DTMO News, or DTOM News. He's got now his new channel. Anyways, I could put a link in the sidebar, although I know he's very busy right now with his own personal life, but he used to do a basket of goods. And I'll tell you, now would be a time to do that, because it does seem to be that almost weekly and bi-weekly that groceries seem to be going up. We are ending near the season, and keep in mind most of this was produce today, because that's all we really needed was a few things like that. And you know, because we're entering into that part where we're getting, you know, last year's goods that have been stored all winter, and they got to pay for the storage costs on it and everything before the fresh stuff starts coming out. So once our Ontario stuff comes in, usually it's cheaper, but we'll have a watch and see on that and see what the prices are going to be like, as we will anyways, because we probably will sell some of our stuff on the side of the road too, or out here. So we like to get an idea of what grocery stores are charging. So it's funny, you know, we're having such deflation still on so many other things, on retail goods, you know, like electronics and clothing and stuff like that. It just seems everywhere we go there's, you know, 50, 70, 90% off sales, you know. And but you know, you need food. So if anybody else has been noticing that lately, I'd appreciate if you can pass on any of your observations on the inflation in food right now. It's expected that gas is going to be up a little bit because it's peak driving season. Not that I'm going to carry on too much about it, but while we were on the subject of George for title, we'll just say one little thing. One thing he made a video about predictions, and you know, predictions are fine. Anybody's welcome to make predictions. I will say though, it's very difficult right now to make predictions. This economy is so liquid, you know, as Justin actually said that term not too long ago. It actually fits it just right because it's all over the place and it's very difficult. Nobody seems to know. Within 1 week, I've heard headlines of China's dumping the dollar, China's saving the dollar, China's dumping the dollar. World Bank says, you know, economy's going to take years. World Bank says, you know, recession's hit rock bottom. You know, it's just all over the place. It's like these economists are just scratching their heads and scrambling and nobody knows what's going on. It's funny because, you know, it is tricky. I mean, a lot of things I thought were going to happen haven't quite happened the way that I thought they might have. Other very good YouTubers, very good, smart people, they've made predictions, and I can see sometimes maybe their frustration because they believe to be the truth what they're saying, and that it doesn't seem to quite come out that way. So, anyways, so I was saying, one thing I did kind of disagree myself. I'll just pass this as a evaluation or whatever. He was predicting $175 a barrel for oil by fall, and I disagree myself. I think that, and for any reason, it has actually really nothing really to do with George at this point. Just sharing what I feel oil will probably do. I was talking about it with my friend this morning actually, and he agrees like me that, you know, we're in peak driving season, and usually come fall the price drops, as demand will diminish, depending on the winters, of course, that we have with heating oil and that. But I'm going to say, what are we at? I think we're at 67. I don't like to do a lot of predictions because it's very difficult, and I don't really consider myself to be a type to do these types of predictions. I like to analyze the economy as a whole and try to look at a broader picture to see a general direction, and then work out the fine points along the way. But I would say it's possible through speculation, and probably speculation only, that we could see as high as $80 a barrel in the next little while. But I would say, if anything, I would probably find you'd be back down to around 50 by the fall. But that's just my say, right? That's just my guess. The reason I say that is because, of course, with the economy getting slower still, you know, the demand for raw material, fossil fuel, energy is not going to be there, and with that, well, then the price is going to come down. So I know that there has been some stories told about China building stockpiles, buying what they can, and that's possible, which of course will drive the price up artificially in that way. And artificial in the sense that, yeah, somebody's buying this stuff, but they're not really using it, so the demand in the future could be all alternated because of this. So we'll see what happens. I had something else too, and now I can't remember. I got to think of these things sooner or write them down by. Oh yes, I know what it was. What time do we have there?
9 minutes.
Okay, I have 1 minute. One thing I will say, there's probably going to be another big wave coming up soon, though. One thing I will say, and this isn't just my own personal. I mean, a lot of people have said this and feel this. But a lot of people are still on unemployment benefits, what other benefits are out there. Some are relying on some savings still, and even worse, actually, some people are using credit. All three of these things will come to an end. They're not sustainable. And when this happens, you will see another wave of downturn in the retail sector, downturn in energy costs, you know, because of demand for energy, and the most unfortunate foreclosures and more housing problems. So I'll just leave this with you. Anyways, thanks again for the comments, and have yourself a good one.